Welcome to I Heart Geek.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek Cast Reacts and Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about Rise of Skywalker. I went and saw it last Thursday, and now I've had a little bit of time to sit on it and really think about what I thought of the movie. This movie ends the Skywalker saga from episode 1 all the way to episode 9, a trilogy of movies that rebooted the franchise after so long. As we saw in the trailer, Palpatine is back. Rey, Finn, Poe, and BB-8 are doing whatever they need to make sure that he's taken down. Without getting into too many spoilers quite yet, this movie is definitely about that core group of new characters that we met in The Force Awakens. Critics have not been kind to this movie. They have been saying that it's a slog of a movie. It's not the greatest installment that we've seen in this new franchise of movies, and they generally are not taking well to it. It's got a low Rotten Tomatoes score, but however, the viewer score it's getting high. It's a movie that critics do not like, but fans seem to really be getting behind. It is a movie that feels very much like it is connected to The Force Awakens. And when The Force Awakens came out, it was gangbusters. People loved it. People loved the new cast. They loved the similar feeling to A New Hope that they got, something that revitalized them into the franchise after being burned by the prequels all those years ago. Personally, for me, I didn't enjoy the movie. I didn't like it. I think it caters to a certain type of Star Wars fan, people who loved The Force Awakens and who loved the original trilogy. It's very much a sequel to those movies. It's not so much a new idea for the Star Wars universe. It's a safe bet, and I think that's why a lot of Star Wars fans are liking it. So now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, get out of here. Come back later after you've seen it, because I'm going to be talking spoilers. So please let me know in the comments if you're going to see it, and I will see you back here when you have. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, if you stuck around with me, you're here for some spoilers and my thoughts on what this movie really lacked on and some of the things that it did well. I didn't like the movie, but that doesn't mean that there weren't some parts that I did enjoy. The first thing that I want to bring up is the deaths within this movie. So in the trailer, we have a brilliant moment that was definitely cut for the trailer. This was C-3PO saying that he was taking a look at his friends for the last time. When we saw that in the trailer, we thought something was going to happen, that C-3PO was going to be gone. Whether he was deactivated, whether he was turned to the dark side, he had those red eyes in the trailer. We didn't know, but we knew he was going to be gone. And that moment touched us because he was saying goodbye to his friends. But then 10 minutes later, after he wipes his memory, he just gets it all back. R2-D2 uploads it back into his head. It's not a real death by any means, and it lost its entire relevance 10 minutes after it happened. The same thing happened with Chewbacca. They capture Chewbacca, and Rey is fighting Kylo Ren, and she uses the Force Lightning for the first time, which destroys the ship that Chewbacca's on. But then, minutes later, he's not dead. He's on another transport. And we're just supposed to be like, okay, sweet. It doesn't feel good to be tricked like that. And it really doesn't give you a sense of sadness that you should have during these movies if they're really impacting events. And that's what I think the biggest problem with this movie is none of the events in it feel impacting. It's becoming like a comic book. What we know about comic books, no one is ever truly dead. And the same thing happens here. Even with people who are dying like Luke Skywalker, he's a Force ghost. It doesn't feel real if the people aren't really gone. Sure, I get it as a plot point for them to come back and help train the new Jedi, and I get that. But if they're just going to pop in and out, like, what does that death really mean? So this entire movie felt like a big quest movie. You went out, you got an item, you came back to the quest giver. You went back out, you got another item, you gave it to the quest giver, Keep going, rinse and repeat until you get to the final boss. That's what this movie felt like to me. It felt like a really good video game movie, which stinks because there's so much lore within the Star Wars universe. You shouldn't need to do something like that. And in my opinion, it just doesn't make for a very entertaining film. The next issue that I had with the movie is the Jedi. When did they become gods? When did the Jedi enter this god mode? It's force healing, it's lightning, it's the ability to block the most powerful Sith in the world. And it just, as much as Rey was overpowered throughout this franchise, this is at its worst, and I just don't see the time for her to learn this. I get that she's a Palpatine, but at the same time, like, Palpatine didn't start as this huge Sith Lord. He's been around for however many years, and he's picked up and learned all of this over that time. He had a master who trained him and brought him up. She was with Luke for a little bit, she was with Leia for a little bit, but she didn't have the amount of training that Palpatine did, and she just was invincible. She never even took a hit of anything. There's no time in this movie or any movie before it where she is in any kind of real trouble. There's a few times where she's fighting and it looks like she's down, but you always know that she's going to come out on top. And it's that kind of certainty in these fights where it just kind of loses its luster after a while. One thing that I really want to bring up that I don't hear anyone bringing up, and I think it's really weird, is the kiss between Kylo Ren and Rey at the end of the movie. So, in canon, Palpatine is Anakin's father. He did not reproduce in a normal way. He manipulated the midichlorians within Anakin's mom to create Anakin. Fine. But that is still his son. He created that child. And if that's the case, and Darth Vader is Palpatine's son, and Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, then yeah, it was weird for me putting that math and doing that in my head. Maybe people aren't taking it as seriously because Palpatine did create Anakin within his mother by manipulating midichlorians, but it's still technically a son. So yeah, that was weird for me. And then my last gripe with the movie was the end fight. I think it was a huge missed opportunity for them to bring back these actors. They got their voices to do some voiceover work at the very end where they're talking up Rey so that she can make that final blow. But how much better would it have been if we would have seen the Force Ghost projections of all of these Jedi from past movies and shows? They had Jedi from Clone Wars and Jedi from The Last Rebel, and that would have been awesome to see them on screen, and just felt like a really missed opportunity. Things I liked about the movie, as much as I didn't like that missed opportunity, I did like that end fight with Palpatine. I thought it was really cool to see him force lightning all the ships down and that final blow with Rey. I liked that fight. I just wanted more from it. I liked when all the ships came and helped out the Resistance. It's going to be amazing to get that Blu-ray and to pause it at that moment and see all the ships and see everything that we know as fans to be within this lore. They're bringing in stuff from the TV shows, from Rebels to Clone Wars, all of that. They're bringing it in and they're giving us little Easter eggs, which is perfect. That's what we need. We need more of that, more of a entire universe for us to love and for us to follow, because it is that great of a universe. That's one thing I do like about these new movies is the casting in it. These actors came, they did really well, and they did what they were supposed to do. I just think it's a shortcoming on the writing and Disney just trying to get things together for this franchise that they really wanted to reboot. I think going down the road, we're going to have a much more handle on it and just new stories. That's what this franchise needs. We've been with the Skywalkers since the very beginning. It's been rushed and they needed to cap it off. But now we're in a place where The Mandalorian is great. with these new rich stories from this universe, we can see those play out, and we don't need to have those old characters anymore. I know people love them, and they can continue to love them in their respective films and stories. It's time for us to go beyond and do something better with this rich universe. So like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Rise of Skywalker, and I think that's fine. I think I'm just ready for something new. But there is a group of people out there, and it seems like it's the majority, that does enjoy this movie. As I said before, if you like the original trilogy and you like The Force Awakens and you weren't the biggest fan of The Last Jedi, you're going to like this movie. I haven't talked to too many people that say that they didn't enjoy this movie and they loved those other things. So please still go out and see it. Star Wars deserves your love. It is one of the greatest franchises of all time, and it does deserve to be seen. So please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. For the first time ever, I'm going to do a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway at the end of January. So please go down, comment, and tell me what you thought of this movie. If you liked it, awesome. If you didn't like it, that's okay. We're going to get more. This universe is only going to get bigger. So like, comment, and subscribe to get your entry into that contest. Visit us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and our website, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Please use the com. Somebody paid extra for it. And support us on Redbubble and our Amazon affiliate link down in the description. So please, guys, let me know what you think. And as always, keep on geeking on. I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is @iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.